Our next speaker is Oussama Ziade. Good morning, Oussama. Good morning. So Oussama is the thought leader in business excellence. He is a 4-year member of the list of 100 people that matters in knowledge management. The list contains the top 100 CEO of technology and management consulting organizations. Oussama is currently chairman and CEO of Intelligile, developer of integrated management solutions that enable organizations to reach business excellences. Oussama will tell us about smart cognitive and knowledge maps in organization. Thank you.
Good morning. Okay, let me put my presentation quickly. I was told that we don't have a lot of time, so I'll try to speed up so you can finish on time. I'm going to start with an example, actually, of a work that was done here recently in Lebanon. Have you heard about Tripoli Special Economy Zone? TSEZ. It's the first special economy zone, actually, in Lebanon. There is a law that was passed in 2004, I think, a long time ago, but it was not actualized until 2015, and still under institutionalization. I'm going to talk today about the other flip of AI. Actually, we talk about data and data connection, how to make sense out of data. I want to talk about cognitive management. Is actually the knowledge that we have in our brains and how we can connect it together to create, okay, it's the other power of the brain, and to create actually more knowledge. There is a lot of data, but there is knowledge that exists in our brains, and a lot of this expertise. How can we connect this knowledge together to make sense out of it, or to drive better decision out of it? There's a lot of formalization that's going to happen. Like AI, actually, sharing of knowledge is actually more ancient than anything else since the beginning of a human. And we get better and better in sharing knowledge, mainly unstructured knowledge. And also the idea of sharing structured knowledge has been, we talked about it recently. But again, with the advance or the awareness of the need to have a meaning, or what we call meta models behind the knowledge, there was a recent move that's happened in the last 10 years where we start to formalize how to represent knowledge itself. So I'm going to take you a quick tour into the work that we have done on Tripoli Special Economy Zone, connecting the different knowledge maps that represent the institution. I can start. This is a screen. I don't know if I can. Okay, so. Need to click here. There is a mouse. Okay, great. Okay, we'll start from here quickly. Let me see if I can zoom out. Is it better showing now of the whole things? Okay. Well, this is different knowledge maps. We'll start what we call activity framework. I'll go through this very, very quickly. So bear with me. It's like a few minutes. Then I'll get into my presentation quickly. So what we call activity model. It's a representation of the whole ways that it's supposed to work. There are the core activity inside called operate TSEZ. These are the support activity. And then we can basically connect and see more inside them. We can go to HR, for example, and see more and dive in more and more inside this. Okay, we can look at the recruiting until we get to the process point of view. So what we are doing, we are connecting here, we are drawing this knowledge. But these are not just graphics. These are actually smart knowledge maps. That's when they are there, we are entering the information, and we can slice them any way we want, and we can generate any document actually out of them. I'm going to go further here and quickly and look, for example, at the law, and here the law, and then connecting here the things that you can connect the law to the activity, and then again go from the law to the activity or to the operation. We can go again and look at, let me go back. There are the law, there are, you can look at the policies that exist, at the principle. Actually, another one is the competency, or look at the strategic plan and how they are related together. Look at the SWOT analysis, or the objective, here it is, I'm sorry. Quickly, and the build knowledge maps of the objective, of the, what's called, of the objectives. You can look at it from system point of view and come with the specification of the system and the all connective that exists. The idea, again, this is, we can look at it also from organization point of view. I don't know if I'm flying very fast here. And one of the challenges that exists, for example, in government, you have already predefined organization charts, so we have to take the different laws associated with the activity and connect them to the roles. We can see the roles, and this, again, this is generated. You can link the roles and responsibility as well as the competency needed. Okay, I think that's what I will show for this example, talking about it. Okay, we'll go then to my presentation here. Okay. And I'll go quickly through that, okay. So the idea that organization, we talk about agility, right? And in order to make agility, we need to connect strategy to implementation. So we'll go quickly here about the enterprise operation. We have the strategy supposed to direct our operation. This is supported by our human capability and IT capability. And what's happened that there are influence that happen on the strategy as well as the technology and business trend, which actually exercise also changed on our IT capability and human capital capability. And what happened then? As a result of this, there is a shift that's happened because, or shear on the organization, because the strategy move in direction and the IT, and they are not connected to each other. The IT and the human capital move in different direction. That's present actually a loss of opportunity because we have a strategy that we cannot take care of, as well as a waste because we have now capability inside our organization that are supporting no strategy. So how can we connect this whole knowledge that exists inside the organization together? Are we doing the right things? This is a harder question. Let us look at the organization operation and look at the different components of it. Okay, go quickly through it. So there are these different parts, and we can see all the interaction or the stakeholder to the organization. And if we look at it, there are the different also departments inside the organization. There are three major activities that organization do, from product development or customer development or capability development. And if we look, this is basically a picture of the stakeholders. So in order to capture all these things, there are 9 disciplines that's needed to be observed inside the organization. That's the strategy, that's the operation engineering, that's IT automation, IT architecture, business automation, culture management, competency management, brand management, governance, risk and compliance, and organization project management. So how can we connect all these things together? There is strategy. This is the whole picture. We have this 9 disciplines of management inside the organization. How we would connect these 9 disciplines together in order to become agile? How could we do that if we don't actually be able to formalize the knowledge and get people to connect what they have in brain together? So the idea when we saw these knowledge maps, they are not entered by one person, they are entered by different people, each from their own positions, and then you create a massive amount of the whole knowledge maps of the organization. Therefore, you can connect the strategy to implementation, slice it, and look what's going on and share this knowledge together. Okay. Okay. Okay, then we'll move. Okay, so in doing this, we heard some words today about best practices as well as about cognitive maps. Best practices, just want to put some words about it. As I explained, in the last 10 years, there are a lot of methodology for the management discipline that emerge and start to be standardized. And there are myriad of best practice that's become available now. There are different standards body that come with these practices. For example, in the process modeling, you have BPMN2, you have VDML. If you look at activity, at IT architecture, we have TOGAF9. If you look to different aspects of this 9 discipline now, there are new, all the time, there are new standards or best practices that's coming, which require, again, how we can leverage this best practice of how to apply these things. That's also, there are also reference models. And reference models today are models of how business is done on different aspects of the organization. And also there are bodies that are coming with reference models in terms of operation as well as benchmark or competency reference model. You have body like EPQC, you have bodies like that come with score framework. I think EPIQC is another one. There are different frameworks that are available today also that you can look at. So you do not have to invent the wheel. There are reference models that are detailed in the supply chain, in HR, in IT, in operation, and even with different, in different also industry. You have, for example, I think the ETOM in the telecom industry. So there are a lot of reference models that you can use to understand how to build a full complex operation. I talk about cognitive maps. Behind these cognitive maps, I mean, all what we saw is pictures. But as I said, these pictures are smart, mean that when you draw these pictures, okay, they are meaningful. They represent certain methodology, and that's what's the engine behind them, is what we call the meta model, the model of the models, okay? And the other thing that has to take into consideration is maturity model, and this is the idea that you cannot go from one step to the best, or from the position that we are today to the best position in one shot. We have to divide it into different steps, and we call this a maturity model. So just quickly, these are cognitive maps, and this is, okay, we'll go quickly through this. This is a meta model, a model behind the model, and that's what makes sense for the information that we draw. Now, again, what the smart tools today, what they do is that basically you can teach them meta model on the fly, which means that you can teach them methodology and make smart representation or smart knowledge maps also on the fly. And once you have this information, you can generate or produce any kind of reports or any kind, or slice the information or reconstruct it any way you like to construct it. So you can generate a lot of information out of that. Okay, it's just showing a connectivity between different methodologies that exist. So I'll go just show again maturity model. This is a maturity model. For the sake of time, I'm going to fly through that. Okay, but okay, and what's next? I know I'm going very fast, but for the sake of time. But what's next? We have on one end the big data, and on the other end we have cognitive maps. Could big data help us to build cognitive maps in the future? Could we feed certain intelligence to to connect these two words together? Could we make better meaning of the data using what people learned before, not only what machine, so they can actually even influence the information that's or the data that being analyzed? Market for knowledge exchange through cognitive maps also would be able to buy in the future knowledge maps that are already there, so we can integrate them inside our operation immediately as we buy software. So we will buy a knowledge that's ready to be executable. The other things, okay, so we model the business. We model everything about the business from the object to the operation to the rules to everything in these things. Why we need to buy software? Why don't we generate the software on the fly and automate this? So we have this component, we assemble it, and we generate it on the fly. And what's needed to be able to have an intelligent, agile organization, as we all dream to have. This is the dynamic or cognitive, dynamic organization. That's it for me. I'm sorry if I went very fast, but Dr. Asman was telling me to go as fast as I can. So I hope, okay, thank you.
Actually, it was a very fast intervention, Oussama.